Hey guys, I know it's been a while since you've seen the Stinger on the channel. It's been, I don't know, I've been busy and there's been a lot going on with the car, so I haven't really had an opportunity to film with it, but got it out today. It's filthy, whatever. But I wanted to make this video talking about my 5 things that I dislike the most and kind of explain what they are and why I dislike them. And we'll be going from 5 to 1, meaning number 5 is what I dislike the least, and number 1 is what I dislike the most. So number 5 is this. The fact that it is a Kia. Obviously it is Kia's most high performance, whatever sports sedan car, and that's all good, but at the end of the day it is still a Kia. People don't take it seriously, and I don't know, there's just not a lot. There's like a small group of KDM enthusiasts and whatnot, but it's nothing like Japanese cars or American muscles or anything like that. And so yeah, I don't know, I kind of just wish that it was taken more seriously and just more appreciated as a car, I guess. So that's not a huge one, but it is still a Kia, and also being a Kia is kind of the reason why these other 4 exist. So I kind of had to throw it in there, because if it was made by a different brand, these might not be a thing. But yeah, so number 4, Stingers are notorious for having this rattling issue. So let me get in the car real quick. Basically what happens is, and I think that it's the sunroof is what I was told, but basically when you drive faster than, I don't know, probably maybe 40 miles an hour, from the perspective of the driver, over here on the passenger side, you get this really annoying, like, rattling sound, and it doesn't really go away. I would try to get it on camera, but it's kind of hard to drive and film that at the same time, and I don't even know if it's loud enough that it would come out on camera. But yeah, it's this rattling that I was told was just the sunroof, and apparently it's easily fixable. You just got to get a couple bolts and, I don't know, make it flush or something like that. So it's not that big of a deal, but when you're spending $45,000 on a car, those types of things should not exist. Like, they need to, when they develop the car, that those types of things should be tested and, perfected and all that stuff. And that's why it goes back into number 5 of it being a Kia. I think if a different manufacturer built the car, that kind of stuff wouldn't happen. So yeah, number 4 is just this rattling. It's not that big of a deal because you can just turn music on or, open the window and you can't really hear it, but whatever. Number 3, and again, this isn't a huge deal, but it's kind of annoying for me, especially because I'm short. But number 3 is the rear window visibility. So I don't know if you can tell, but the rear window is tiny. I mean, look at it. Like, the headrests take up a quarter of the room and it's already not that big. So for perspective, this is my view from the driver's seat of the rear view mirror, of the rear view window. I mean, the view is like, it's awful. So luckily this car has a rear camera for parking, because if it didn't, I mean, yeah, it's literally just, it's pathetic. The rear window visibility is really, really bad. Again, not a massive deal, but it's just kind of annoying when you're paying that much for a car and you can't even see out the back of it 90% of the time. It's, yeah, it's highly annoying. Number 2, and this is a major one, is the dealerships. Kia service centers are notoriously bad. I really don't know why this is. Maybe it's just in the US that it's like this, but the Stinger owner groups and stuff, like, it's amazing how many people have commented on their experience with their local service centers and just how bad they are. I mean, they're garbage. So Kia does have a very good warranty when you buy cars with them, the 10-year, 100,000 mile, whatever. It's a very good warranty, but I don't know. One, if you buy a Stinger used, you don't get the 10-year warranty. And 2, even if you do have the 10-year warranty, for some reason, they just, half the time they find excuses for, why they can't fix it, or they still try to charge you out of pocket even though you have the warranty and all that. And I've heard horror stories of them like not even actually fixing the problem and whatever. So yeah, really don't know why this is, but the dealerships for Kia, like I said, at least in the US, it seems, are just atrocious. So whenever I have something wrong with this car, I probably won't even take it to a Kia dealer, which means I'm gonna have to pay more money to go to a performance shop who will actually take care of the car, which makes owning the car more expensive just because Kia's dealership is not, like, the service line is not even reliable. So yeah, it's very disappointing when you buy a car this expensive and you can't even rely on the dealers to actually take care of it. I haven't had an experience with them yet because I haven't even needed to fix the car yet, luckily. It is a very reliable car, I will give it that. But yeah, I've heard countless horror stories on why, like, on dealerships and owners of Stingers who just refuse to even go to a dealership now because they're so bad. So yeah, that's number 2, and then number 1 is the brakes. So for those of you who don't know, the Stingers have a notorious, and again, I don't think this would happen if someone other than Kia made the car. They have a notorious brake problem. The car weighs 4,000 pounds. Mine, the GTS all-wheel drive, weighs 4,023 pounds. Now, yes, these are Brembo pads and everything else, but they just are not good enough. The car weighs too much and accelerates too quickly, and the brakes are not good. They are sufficient if you are, just putzing around town, driving 50 miles an hour or whatever. But if you are on the highway and you have to come to a sudden stop because of traffic that you can't see, it's like dangerously bad. They shake, your steering wheel shakes, they rattle all the time, and again, tons of stories from owners about their brakes literally going out and needing to be replaced within 10,000 miles of buying the car, and that is just unacceptable. I mean, 10,000 miles is not far. That's less than 1 year ownership for a lot of people now. So the fact that your brakes are completely shot and have to be replaced within a year on a performance car is just unacceptable. It's just not. That's even if it's not a performance car, any car that you're spending almost $50,000 on, you should not have to replace the brakes within 10 months of owning the car. I mean, it's just flat out unacceptable. It's not. I think every single Stinger owner I know, almost every single one, I'd say probably 90%, has said the first thing you need to do when you get this car is get aftermarket brakes. I mean, I know people who have bought Stingers recently who literally didn't even need new brakes, and they still bought aftermarket brakes because they have heard so many bad stories about the stock ones that they just didn't even take the chance. And my car, I have experienced the steering wheel wobbling and all that stuff in my car too. So I eventually am going to have to get aftermarket brakes, which again is another, if you don't install it yourself, $2,000 in parts and labor. I mean, plus you have to have the car gone to get it installed. And this is my only car, which means I don't have a car for a day. And it's just, it's just unacceptable. That's the number one by a mile for my things that I do not like about this car. I'm okay with taking it to a performance shop rather than Kia. That stuff doesn't really bother me. But the braking thing really does. When you make a performance car, you have to put time and effort into the brakes. I mean, you just do. Braking is literally half of what makes a performance car a performance car. So I would say even more, because if you can't even use the power because you can't stop, it's not a performance car. So yeah, it's the brakes are they're just unacceptable in this car. They are decently sized, and I get that, and that they are made by Brembo, and Brembo obviously is a very reputable company. But for some reason, on this car, they are just not good. So yeah, that's my number one gripe about the Stinger. I mean, because it's on the verge of like being dangerous. It's very, very bad. So yeah, I don't know. That's my 5 things that I quote unquote hate about my car. I mean, none of them I actually hate. I do hate the braking thing. The rest of it is kind of just disappointing. Like the rear view mirror or the rear view window thing is really not that big of a deal. Like whatever, I can just use the camera and I can see what I'm doing. But the fact that the camera shows more than the window to me is just like, okay. And the dealership like pipeline being so crappy is not a deal breaker for me either. It is kind of disappointing, I will say, because again, you can't even have pride in your car because you can't even go to the dealership of the manufacturer of the car that you drive and like wow everybody because it's a Stinger and it's whatever, and like know that you're gonna get taken care of and have faith in the mechanics, and like you just can't. It's just, I don't know, it's not a huge deal, but it is disappointing. Like I said, it's just, yeah, you should be able to go to your dealer and just be able to know that 1, they're gonna get it right, 2, they're not gonna run you around and try to screw you out of a bunch of money, but 3, that they're gonna fix it in the first place. I mean, it's crazy. I've heard Stinger owners say that they went in for brakes and then they were back within like 2 months because the techs just missed something. They just didn't properly, or I've heard stuff with the sunroofs or like oil leaks, and it's like, this is just basic stuff that mechanics should know, and they just seem to miss it. And I don't know if it's deliberate because they're Stinger owners and they're like, well, let's try to get more money out of it. I don't know. But the fact that it happens at all is just really sad. So I will not be taking this car to a Kia dealership. I just won't. I mean, I don't know where I'm going to get it fixed. Luckily, I haven't needed to get anything fixed yet, but whenever I do, I'm not going to Kia. So yeah, that's my video of the five things I quote unquote hate about this car. So yeah, the next video will probably be what I love about this car. So let me know what you think. If you're a fellow Stinger owner, comment your thoughts on my gripes, and yeah, I don't know. If you think something else should be on here, let me know. Thanks for watching. Bye.